Hello, y'all. I want to talk to you about something today. I just seen Trump tweeted that he'd be far better for the African American community than Sleepy Joe Biden. And I agree 100%. There is no doubt in my mind that Trump would be better for the African American voter than Sleepy Joe Biden. You might say, Dave, how do you know this? How can you possibly know this? You're white. You live in the country. How could you know this? I'll tell you how I know this. I may be white, but I'm entwined with the African American community. I like Darius Rucker. I like Charlie Pride. I like Cowboy Troy. I like Condoleezza Rice. I like Colin Powell. And there's one time I met this feller down at the Piggly Wiggly. I don't know where he's from, but he was an African American feller. I said hi. He said hi. We were cordial. I didn't really get his name, but I consider him a friend. And I mean, look at Trump's history compared to Biden's. Biden sat in that White House for 8 years with Obama, a Muslim Kenyan that was half white. Trump, while Biden was in there hanging out with this Muslim who created ISIS, Trump was on TV every day telling us, hey, he's Kenyan. Hey, he's Muslim. You don't want him to be the first African American president. We need to throw him out of office. He was on TV every day saying it. He was looking out for the African American community. He was saying, hey, you don't want this to be the first African American president. He's Muslim. He's from Kenya. But old Biden just sat there right by his side through the whole darn thing. Look at other things Trump has done to help out the African American community. Them young fellers in New York got in some kind of trouble for murder, whatever, and then liberal DNA somehow cleared them. But no, Trump was like, no. He paid to put out an ad saying they should get the death penalty. Screw that liberal DNA. They ain't innocent. DNA is a lie. It's a hoax. And Trump, would a racist do that? Would a racist spend his own money to put out an ad that these people need the death penalty? No. That's somebody who cares about the African American community right there. I mean, hell, he hired that girl from The Apprentice. I mean, she didn't last very long before he fired her, but he hired that girl from The Apprentice. I mean, he got Dr. Ben Carson. I mean, come on now. Trump is entwined with the African American community. He was only in office for months. He didn't even have to pass any economic legislation. None. And all of a sudden, African American, sorry, that's that corona. But all of a sudden, African American unemployment is suddenly the lowest it's ever been. Trump just had to be in office. He just had to get elected, and bam, he was so on racist that just by getting elected, unemployment in African Americans dropped to an all-time low. What'd Obama do? Oh, he passed a bunch of legislation and stuff, but he wasn't president when it hit that all-time low. No, Trump was. That's right. And I have it on good authority that Trump is also a fan of Charlie Pride. He also likes Darius Rucker. And I think he even likes Cowboy Troy, to be honest. I mean, I've seen pictures of him with Mike Tyson. I've seen pictures of him with Evander Holyfield. I mean, why would you be a fan of those people if you was racist? I mean, look, this is how on racist Trump is. I mean, think about this. He had some apartments. Some called him slums. Some accused him of being a slumlord. They was just apartments that were low income, cheap apartments. He was trying to help out poor people and give them a place to live. But he knew they weren't that great. He knew his apartments weren't that great. So he wouldn't even rent to African Americans. He was like, oh no, I ain't even going to rent to you. I ain't going to let you live in these poor conditions. He only rented to white people. That's how unracist he is. He let white people live in them poor conditions and not African Americans. Now, I don't know why all these white supremacist groups support Trump. I think they've been brainwashed by the liberal media to think he's one of them, but he's clearly not. I mean, look at the guy. Follow him on Twitter. He tweets all the time. He never says anything bad about African Americans. He only talks bad about immigrants trying to come here from Mexico. All them drug dealers, rapists, and murderers coming in here. I mean, he's got them locked in cages. Their kids locked in cages. He's protecting us. But he ain't never said nothing bad about no African Americans on Twitter that I've read. At least I'd interpret it that way. And, you know, sometimes he even says stuff, I'm gonna admit, he says stuff, I'm like, well, wait, what does that mean? But I watch Hannity later and he explains it. That's all you gotta do, watch on Hannity or Tucker Carlson later, and they'll explain why it wasn't racist. It's just the liberal media making something out of nothing. Happens all the time, every day. But I understand the African American community. I mean, when I was a little kid, I remember watching that feller singing to them birds. What was his name? I think it was like Tom or something. It was very entertaining. I understand what African Americans are looking for, and what they need to do is vote for Trump. He has proved time and time again he is not racist. He has looked out for the African American community by pointing out that, hey, your first African American president, he's actually a Muslim and from Kenya. He let you know. He let you know. He was looking out. Them boys in New York, he paid for that ad to say, hey, that liberal DNA lied. These boys should get the death penalty. And he didn't let you live in his crappy apartments. No, he knew they weren't that good, so he only rented to white people. I mean, what more do you need to know it's time to walk away? Walk away from sleepy Joe Biden and vote for Trump. I'm telling you. Well, that's about all I got to say. I was just a little heated because I read all these comments on a Twitter feed about this and that. Now, Trump's a racist, and why is he even trying to get the African American vote? Well, I don't know. Maybe because just by getting elected, unemployment for African Americans went down because he hired Ben Carson. I don't know. Sounds pretty good to me. Sounds like pretty legit reasons. So that's all I got to say. And just a reminder, here in a few days, unfortunately, this page is called Brother Civil War because my brother is some snowflake Democrat. And he's going to give you all their versions on all this stuff. And you're going to get to watch us argue. So I hope you'll subscribe and like, because you'll get to hear us both rant. And although I win most of them, because I'm like Trump in a debate. When my brother's talking, I just go, wrong, wrong, wrong. And I win every time. Well, y'all have a great day.